The lightning hadn't finished falling when time snapped. Rain froze around Adam, then the street blinked into silence. Bioluminescent gardens climbed unfamiliar towers. A transit marquee flickered a year that shouldn't exist, 2200. Somewhere a siren sighed, and even that was gone. He staggered under a violet sky shield. A chrome orb hovered, humming in his teeth. Adam Mohar, it said. Almost Arabic, almost code. Remain calm. You were recovered from an electrical singularity. Calm was a country he no longer owned. The sky leaned nearer. In a glass bioreactor clinic, algae pulsed like veins. Caretakers traced the accident. Cities had learned to bottle lightning. Tonight, a rare surge braided with a reconstruction field. Adam wasn't transported. He was caught, reeled forward by a net meant for data shadows. Borrowed lives create debts. Without integration, he'd stay hazardous, untranslated, untracked, a tear in causality. They proposed a linguistic weave, neural etiquette, this century's compass. Refuse, and he'd live behind panes that never opened. Between his vanished now and their saturated future lay the long emergency. Heat domes, famine lines, coasts traded for levees, but also treaties at dawn, machines and citizens bargaining, deserts rewilded, silicon patients grafted to human grit, survival rewritten as policy. At dusk above terraced farm, Adam asked the question beneath all others. My mother? The caretaker didn't flinch. 2 centuries scatter names like seeds. We find patterns, not hands. He held the rail until it warmed. The city glowed. Grief found a room to breathe.
Before dawn, he slipped past soft alarms into a maglev throat. He rode east, chasing memory. Where cafes once spilled coffee into traffic, drones pollinated quinoa along tram lines. Street names survived like fossils. His own hung there, weathered to a rumor. In a red valley of wind-carved stone, he met the keepers, youth with sun-printed cloaks, curators of before. They kept turntables without power, paper sealed in salt glass, tastes and tales on the tongue. One wound a music box. Sand sang a melody he knew. The trustee called a consent hearing. Accident or a theft from history? In a dome of night-black glass, delegates assembled as light and breath. We preserve lines, the trustee intoned, not only of DNA, but of decision. The room tightened. Echo law allowed only reconstructions from statistical mist, no singular rescues. The storm sliced a loophole and pulled him through whole. Remedies: return his energy to origins, or stay as embodied debt, contribute until the ledger balanced. Both futures pressed like doors. Lena, an archivist with weather-burned cheeks, offered translation and tea grown under bronze mesh. You're not a case file, she said. You're a witness. She led him to the time harp, a chamber that sonified probabilities. His life trembled there, threads that might were. The agora bloomed above the desert like a mirage, citizens joined by quorum fog, avatars and bodies sharing wind. Some hailed him as proof that history listens. Purists hissed, precedent invites plunder. A rumor coiled, force a verdict with weather, hack the mirrors. Noon broke wrong. Shadows ran in reverse as orbital reflectors jittered. A hot gale became marble hail. Sirens stitched the air. Adam smelled the same metallic ozone as the night he was taken. The sky shield faltered. The dome flickered like a failing lung. In the emergency chamber, choices narrowed to razors. Merge into a local echo seed, absorb new grammar, let the old self thin, or step into a return window the engineers barely trusted. Lena's voice was steady. Choice defines us, she said, even when it cleaves. Adam picked a scene the law hadn't sown.
He linked to the bioelectric grid, offering his storm-bent anomaly as ballast. Gloves bit his palms. Bioreactors thrummed. "Use me as a bridge," he said. The city swallowed the surge, braided it smooth, and the storm unraveled. Under clearing skies, casualty counts steadied at zeros that mattered. The Agora's vote pulsed in rings of light. Asylum of contribution passed. The ledger would measure forward gifts, not backward theft. Adam exhaled a century he hadn't lived, and felt the ground adopt him. Seasons learned his name. In memory gardens, he taught children dial-up songs and sidewalk games, planted olive clones on terraces stitched with drip lines. He turned translator of oaths between past appetite and future care. Lena laughed more. The wind gentled.
At night, beneath slow satellites, he recorded a message to storms. If static lifts the hairs on your arm, don't run. Listen. We are out here, mending, waiting. He looked toward ruins he loved and the city he'd earned, and let both truths live in him.